Oh,
my
I
last time
would
to
gladly tell Etalk to off. As far as yeah, Etalk the off.
So what is it about Logan Roy that makes us hopeful? And do you have hope in Logan?
I think Logan is very misunderstood. I really do. I think he's tough. And he behaves like a ruthless businessman. I mean, and that's to do with business. I mean, that's it. And he's not very good with his children because he hasn't had a lot of experience of being, he's been so busy most of his life. He's just seen his children grow up and become these horrible, avaricious creatures that they've become. And who, of course, he is partly to blame for that. But it's not the whole answer. I mean, if you live in an entitled situation, you believe that you're special when, of course, you're not at all special.
Where does Logan rank in your acting legacy?
Well, I would be wrong of me to sort of say, oh, well, it's just another role. I mean, it's been a major role because how it's affected the world. I mean, I had no idea it was going to be as strong as it was, and how people have kind of become Loganites in a kind of way. I had no idea. I mean, I knew when the whole show was pitched to me that it was a great show, and I knew it was going to be a great part. And I have played these kind of archetypes, like Lear or Winston Churchill or even Hermann Goring, And when you play people who are of such extremities, either go very left or very right, you realize that the one constant is drive, is the pursuit of an absolute. The absolute may be questionable, but that's what's been so interesting about Logan. All he wants is to find somebody worthwhile to take on his business. And so far, he hasn't found it.
He hasn't found it.
As much as I would love to do this for the next 20 years, I don't think that would be right. That wouldn't seem right. But so there's that. There's the fact that it's ending while I still really want to do it. I feel like ending on a high feels great. I knew there wouldn't be that much more in the tank for me to keep going forever. So it feels, I don't know what it feels like yet because it's too soon, but it's like, at least there, I know for sure it's a good feeling that I want more.
Right.
But that can also be a bad one.
I feel I have such a mix of emotions about it. He became a guy that was just easy and fun to get into every day. The way Greg thought became pretty automatic, and being able to say the thing that would be the worst thing to say in the room, or the most embarrassing thing to say, or to be humiliated, was endlessly fun. So I'll miss some of that, but I feel like we did it, and I feel like the last season will feel that way. Like there's so much good stuff in the last season for Greg and Tom and all of it.
How are you going to say goodbye to Shiv? I mean, I don't know how you say goodbye to a character like that.
I don't know either. So if you could tell me, that'd be good. And maybe we can learn together.
This has been one of the nicest jobs I've ever had because of the fabulous writing, and then the people that I get to work with. The cast and the crew has just been top-notch. Great directors. Everything about it has been really wonderful. It'll be sad. Well, it is. We're done. I mean, we'll see how it all plays out and how people respond to it. But I'll miss everybody. I'll be okay to put Connor to bed and have this story be done. It'll be all right.
Poor Connor. Poor Connor.
Oh, he'll be fine. Don't worry about him too much.
Is there going to be any ounce of redeemable qualities that we will get from this season?
Is there any hope for these poor billionaires, their privileged lives?
But do you think they're going to do the right thing? Are we going to get any resolution at the end of the season?
It's our show. There's, what do you think? Nothing is on the nose. Nothing ever gets tied up in a nice little bow, because that never really happens in life, does it?
Will they finally redeem themselves in any way, shape, or form with this final season?
I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Okay.
And define redeem. I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Jesse Armstrong has a theory that people don't really change. And I think with the Roy family, that's probably absolutely true.
Now, as you look back, you've told everyone to off at least once. Is there one instance that sticks out to you that you would say is your absolute favorite?
No, my favorite off was not actually in the show. It was when I was at a Me Too meeting that I went to in California. It was hosted by Rosanna Arquette. And there were a lot of these intense Hollywood ladies listening to Ronan Farrow talk about what's going on. And he did a brilliant job, and everybody was very taken by it. And then at the end of the meeting, he left, and it was very intense. And I arrived late, so I was standing at the back watching this extraordinary event. And then all these women, they were big rounds of applause, and they all turned around and they saw me. And immediately they took out their device and they went, "Can you tell us to off?" And I went, "Hang on, this is a Me Too meeting.
Oh my
I'm a white
gosh.
dinosaur. You've just heard what the problem is with that. And you turn around and you ask me to tell you to off. I'm not sure that's quite appropriate."
Yeah. And so
That's human beings for you.
When he said to his son, when his son said, "Do you want to ride with me?" He said, "I don't know, do you want to his son?" And thankfully, like in the show, you can only see the back of my head. I don't know, I couldn't keep it together. Every time he said it, sitting in his big van all by himself with his sunglasses on, saying to his child, "Do you want to?" That's the best kind of off anyone can deliver, I think.
it's so incredibly brilliant. I just think that's what we're going to miss so much of the show is just like those moments that catch you off guard, make you laugh.
And for me, on days like that, they gave me something like 12 different responses. So every take we did it, I had a different response to it, but it was also just hard to get through each one because he just said that to my face.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
get a door slammed in my face.
And you got Brian Cox who's saying it, so you got this had to keep this straight face. It's
And he was
perfect.
particularly grumpy that day because it was really hot out. So it's like a grumpy Brian yelling that at me is just great.
My favorite off was after Tom gets out of his congressional testimony, and Greg is like, "Why did he me? He's totally me right there." And Logan is like, "Oh, Greg, get out of here." That one was pretty good. That one was pretty scary. Brian can be truly scary sometimes.
Oh, I loved the one where when he's doing the Retired Janitors of Idaho, I think, episode where where Shiv sort of saves the day and he's like, "Stop buzzing around me." That when he said that, it was so, because she's on such a high and expecting like love from her dad and a big old pat on the back and "well done, Pinky," and he just shuts her down. And that was my favorite one.
Could you tell Etalk to off? Because this is my
I
last
would
time to
gladly tell Etalk to off. As far as yeah, Etalk the off. That's what I would say.
Like the video? Then hit the button, or better yet, drop us a comment. Then check out our latest videos here. And don't forget to subscribe by hitting the button here for more celebrity interviews and entertainment news.